American democracy needs your help, and I'm here to ask you for it. Now, I'm going to talk about Wisconsin, but before you check out, because you're like, I don't live in Wisconsin, I don't know anything about Wisconsin, why should I care about Wisconsin? I'm going to tell you, if you believe in democracy and the success of the American experiment, then you care about Wisconsin, you just don't know it yet. On February 21st, there is a primary election for a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat, and the two candidates who get the most votes will go on to the general election on April 4th. Right now, Wisconsin has the most gerrymandered maps in the country. When you look at voting records in Wisconsin, it is clearly a 50-50 state, if not Democratic leaning. But that is not at all reflected in state politics or policy. Their 4-3 far-right Supreme Court actually were the ones who drew the district maps for the state. So 6 out of the 8 congressional seats went to Republicans, despite the progressive leanings of the state. The court has allowed almost every and all form of voter suppression, so Republicans now control 65% of the state house, despite only having, at best, 50% of the vote. As soon as Roe was overturned, that same 65% immediately reinstated an abortion law from 1849, one of the most extreme in the country. The governor and attorney general sued to get the law removed, but it won't come before the court until August. So who sits on that court will be the difference between life and death for some women in Wisconsin. Right now, medical students have to actually leave the state to complete their OBGYN training to not break the law. It's horrendous. This election will also decide if that extreme gerrymander that has all but nullified the Democratic Party votes is allowed to stand, and whether this ultimate swing state that went for Trump in 2016 and Biden in 2020 is allowed to send electors to Washington who didn't win the popular vote, potentially swinging the 2024 presidential election to the Republicans, even if the Democrats win. Democracy itself is on the line with this election, not just for Wisconsin, but for the entire nation. Electing a progressive justice to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, one who believes in things like allowing people to vote, bodily autonomy, respecting the will of the voter, would be such an incredible change. If you or your family live in Wisconsin, who wins this seat is the choice between abortion being legal and illegal. It is a difference between your state being gerrymandered against the will of the voters or your state having free and fair elections. If you don't live in Wisconsin, this is a choice between supporting democracy or letting it die. The choice between bodily autonomy or government-mandated pregnancy. And finally, it's a choice between having an honest presidential election in 2024 or the Republicans being allowed to decide who wins, no matter what the votes say. So no matter where you live in this country, this is an election you need to be paying attention to, and quite frankly, if you can swing it, throwing money at. If you have ever worried about where this country is going, if you've ever felt helpless about what to do, if you want to make a difference but you're not sure how to do it, this is your opportunity. Go to wisdems.org. And if you can't give money, give time. So many people don't even know this election is happening. So it's up to people like us to tell them and to get them excited about the power they have to make real change. $10 from your wallet, 1 hour of your time. Wisconsin plays such an outsized role in how our presidential elections are decided. The future of our country is literally on the line. At the end of the day, elections come down to turnout. Turnout comes down to enthusiasm, and enthusiasm comes down to us.